That they think that the red pill exists so men will hate women. It's completely opposite.
That's what they
exists so men will not hate women for what they can never be to them. I don't know why Jeffrey Miller has such a hard-on for red pill guys, but here we go. Red pill guys chase cues of sexual fitness. They might have sex with apparently fertile young women who are on contraception and not having babies. From a Darwinian point of view, what these guys are doing is no different from sitting at home and watching pornography.
No, hold on. From a Darwinian point of view, he is correct.
Yes.
From a results-oriented point of view, ladies, let me explain to you, if your genetics had any conception of what contraceptives were, they would look at it like it was lava. Does that make sense? Your genes, like a condom, would look like acid because you'd be like, no, we want to spread your genes, but you don't, because you don't want to be saddled with a child right now because you got that new Ariana Grande coming out and you want to go get your Starbucks coffee. You do not want a baby right now. So that's the reason why you do this. Your genes have no concept of contraceptives. I'll bring up Jeffrey Miller for a different reason. In that 3-hour video on evolutionary psychology that Municat did, she keeps going after Jeffrey Miller. And the reason why is because his personal life is very much low-hanging fruit. I want to express this.
Just so everyone knows, he's almost an evangelist for polyamory.
He is yes. Okay. Yeah. Now, while he is an evangelist for polyamory, he's not saying that his evolutionary psychology studies have led him to polyamory. He personally likes polyamory. And what's happened is it's the same kind of situation. Anything I don't like causes school shootings. And because this video is about evolutionary psychology, anything that any evolutionary psychologist does that I disagree with is now dogma and scripture in evolutionary psychology, and now something that I can use to attack evolutionary psychology. In this video, Municat incorrectly uses Dr. Jeffrey Wilson's proclivity for polyamory as a prescription for men to be polyamorous because evolutionary psychologists are saying to do so. And David Buss never said that, and neither did William Costello. So in this case, that's where these things are extremely wrong.
Let me state for the record that because a long time ago I got into it with Jeffrey Miller because I know his quote unquote wife, Diana Fleischman, who I still talk to, by the way, because she's in the behavioral psychology like me. However, Jeffrey Miller blocked me long ago because I called him out on the polyamory thing because he is an evolutionary psychologist.
Fine, it's fine that he's polyamorous.
No, but here's the thing. Again, let your freak flag fly. I don't care. But the thing is that if you're going to be an evolutionary psychologist and you're going to talk about polyamory, you can't ignore the conditions of jealousy and what are the evolutionary reasons for jealousy and mate guarding.
What he's saying is he's evolved past jealousy.
Yes,
and if that's what he believes,
he's so intelligent.
If that's what he believes,
it's only for highly evolved people like Jeffrey Miller.
That's totally fine. And by the way, I love the book Mate. I actually really enjoy the book. I think there's a lot of, especially in the second half of the book, there's a lot of great advice that's in that book. But I would not be polyamorous. Now, here's the issue. Again, I'm going to go back to the video that Municat made where she went over this concept of monogamy. So evolutionary psychologists say that monogamy is not the natural state for human beings. And so therefore, because it is not X, then it must be Y. Therefore, because monogamy is not the natural state for human beings, and Jeffrey Miller is a polyamorous, therefore all evolutionary psychologists are prescribing to you to be polyamorous and let your wife multiple dudes. And so because it is not X, therefore it must be Y. No, the reality is it's somewhere in the middle. And if I were to have Municat and she were sitting right here, I would ask her, have you only been with one man in your entire life? No. That means you have multiple cases of monogamy interspersed in a lifetime of polygamy. That is the natural state for human beings.
It's a soft term.
There's a middle ground. It is not full-time polyamory. Okay, here's the third issue I have is she quotes like Sex at Dawn and Sperm Wars, which these books have been completely and totally debunked. So it's like books about evolutionary psychology and books countering evolutionary psychology are both used to counter evolutionary psychology in fucking video that she makes. Like she can't even get her lies straight anymore. She is literally quoting Owen Cook and Casey Zander as evolutionary psychologists. They are dating coaches. They're not evolutionary psychologists. Anyone who even says the word caveman is now thrown into the pile of criticism. It is crazy. This is the ultimate straw man argument I've ever seen. Evolutionary psychologists are not telling you how to live your life. They are postulating and theorizing on a strategy that your ancestors used in order to be successful at replication. That is it. Yes. And anything else you understand.
Welcome to the praxeology of the red pill. Not the suggestions, not the advice, not the influencers,
but you got
just the stats. I wanted to address this very old criticism of of the red pill. Are cads outbreeding dads? Royce hit on this in 2009, Jeffrey Miller. Okay, we've been talking about this for a very long time. It's not about who is breeding. It's about who is doing fucking. God damn it. Why can you not get this through your head? Okay, it's the same thing when we're talking about like assortive mating versus hypergamy, right? It's not who is mating with each other.
Of course, Jeffrey Miller doesn't care.
Who wants to who?
Right,
that's what it comes down to.
But of course, Jeffrey Miller doesn't care because he doesn't feel jealous. He's evolved past jealousy.
Yeah, of course, he's from his
too
intellectual for
correct.
Right.
So again, one more time, Jeffrey Miller is talking his own book, and so am I. By the way, I'm a heterosexual Protestant, so therefore I'm talking my own book too. I think probably the best way is for a man to be masculine and for a woman to be feminine. In general, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. But I know I'm talking my book. I'm from Texas and went to a Christian church. Right. I get that I'm biased towards that.
He's hopping on the whole Tradcon thing.
Yes,
of
course,
because it's hip to say women should be off of birth control, and it's hip to say you shouldn't be having sex unless for one purpose is to make babies.
Everyone's
and anything that isn't reproductive sex, that's a drug addiction.
Yes.
Literally, that's what they fucking say. And here you have a Jeffrey Miller who is a prominent evolutionary psychologist jumping on the new hotness, which is basically saying, these red pill guys are because those red pill guys have the secret sauce so that they can go random just like with impunity, right? And it's like, no, that's not how it works. And then second of all, again, it's not about who's doing the breeding. It's about who's doing the fucking. So the amount of game and the amount of status and the amount of achievement and the amount of effort that it takes to actually pull this off, skyrocketing. The amount of effort and the amount of effort it takes to get one chick and then breed with that one chick, nothing.
Yeah, that's why I don't like the Tradcon advice to guys. It's like, bro, you need that XP of talking to girls instead of just because he says it's equal to have sex with the girls on birth control and jerk off and watch porn. It's not equal, bro. You're getting XP. You're getting experience.
Yeah.
You're building confidence.
But the reason
you're becoming more dominant.
The reason he brings that up and he says, if you're having random meaningless sex, it's just the same as pornography. No, it's not. This guy of all people, if you understand anything about male nature, you would understand how hard it is for guys to actually pull that shit.
And if you understand the male brain, bro, when a guy jerks off at home, he becomes fucking depressed. When a guy goes out and he has sex with a girl, he's like, yeah, I just did that.
Because you put in effort. You're correlating dopamine reward with effort. When you look at pornography, there's no effort, but you still get the dopamine reward. And now the dopamine reward becomes less and less and less. That's essentially what happens. Jeffrey Miller's talking his book. I'm talking my book. And Municat's talking her book because she's politically progressive. She's a liberal. And liberals hate evolutionary psychology. But the one thing I am happy about this video, evolutionary psychology used to be this like bastard stepchild that nobody knew about. And now it's finally made it to the mainstream. And now people can actually see whether or not some of the things are real. These lies that she says about these are not replicatable studies, that's not true. They are replicatable. There's probably more replicatable studies in that one field of psychology than almost any other field of psychology, especially when it comes to parental investment hypothesis or it comes to things like dual mating strategy. There are so many replicatable things that have happened before. And so the last thing I want to say is this. So when she talks about people making podcasts, she says, incels making podcasts. So I have bad news for you, Municat. Believe it or not, I am not involuntarily celibate, and I can prove it. And neither is Rollo. He's been married for 27 years, and neither is Myron, and clearly neither is Fresh.
Yeah,
and neither is Andy, who has multiple children, and neither is a Richard Cooper, and neither is MLD. None of us are incels. What you're saying is not an opinion. Justin Waller is not an incel. What you're saying, Sterling Cooper is not an incel. What you're saying is categorically incorrect. In fact, I can't think of a single guy who started a podcast, not David Cooley, not Marquette.
Brian from whatever.
Not Brian from whatever podcast. I can't think of a single one of them who doesn't get laid and have options with women. So what you're saying is categorically incorrect. It is not. It's so incorrect. It's the opposite of correct. In fact, I would challenge you to find one incel that you're talking about because I can't think of a single one.
Well, I've just come to the conclusion that a lot of these girls online who talk about guys like us or guys who create content like us, the reality is they don't want guys knowing this stuff, because when guys know this stuff, they get the leverage, they get the power, and guess what? They don't have simps supporting whatever their lifestyle is.
No, instead that's just the reality. The women.
Well, no, AI. I've just come. That's just the reality. The biggest girls who talk the most on guys like us are the girls who have a load of simps behind them supporting their lifestyle. They hate the fact that we're waking those guys up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You call it waking up, but I think it's just such a sad generation, bro. It's like what you said. Oh, you be yourself. That's actually how I feel. I'm sure you guys feel like that. Just like you should be able to be yourself, and guys should be able to be themselves too.
With you and me,
instead of everything being so premeditated.
You could be the worst version of yourself, and guys still will smash.
Yeah, but
that's so true.
Delia,
I really agree with you. I'm at my worst. Take me or leave me.
You and I have been friends for 10 years. I can be myself with you, but we're not dating. That's the difference.
Yeah,
but in order for me to get a girl, I have a burden of performance that I have to.
I have to be my best
for you.
I've dated some amazing guys. But one thing they've always said is I can be myself around you. And actually, the reason I do that is because I want to be able to be myself.
Game. That is game.
No. Because I can be myself. That's what I want. If you can't let me be myself around you, then you can go. Like, you're meant to compliment my life, not give me drama or stress.
Exactly.
And I don't know if that is the masculine energy in me or if it is just because I'm a certain age and I've had a lot of drama. I'm like, come on. Sometimes you want a man to be a man sometimes. I don't care if you want to cry, baby. I don't care if you want to go bang whoever.
Cordelia.
Yes, my sexy long-haired seal.
I have a experiment for you.
Let's do it.
What I would like you to do is when you go home and you go to your OnlyFans, I would like you to say how many more subscriptions you have after this show.
I'm not
going to lie.
I was cyber hacked recently, 7 months ago, so I have not had
How
OnlyFans
dreadful
for a long
for
time.
you.
No, it is. 4 businesses, 50, I had to remake email addresses over the time. This is what I wanted to talk about, is cyber hacking as well. People don't understand how serious this is and how serious it's becoming. People are learning for $10 online. So people that you call simps aren't actually simps at all. They're nerds. I'm a nerd. I love nerds, yeah? I love nerds. But they're learning for $10 how to hack the girls now, right? So you're getting everything done, your bank accounts, your businesses, your Instagrams, you name it, they hack it because they literally want to be so close to you, and they're like,
incredible.
If they can't have you, no one can have you. And they're learning for $10 online, bro. $10.
I hate to say I'm going to agree with this because
this is so true.
Remember we've had this conversation before where we talk about how we have this Lost Boys generation that doesn't, they don't have any purpose, they have no motivation, they just sit at home and jerk off and eat pizza and smoke weed and play video games and everything like that, right? But I disagree. I think Generation Z boys or men
so smart,
definitely motivated. They are absolutely obsessively, compulsively motivated to with you.
Yeah.
To find some way to find your picture and just
make
say
money from you.
And the most minute in detail to give you the most shit that they possibly can, because once they hate you, you've given them a purpose.
If you guys could spend all that time and energy that you use to lie about me to actually build a business, you guys would all be millionaires. Both men and women, we have our evolutionary adaptations that we have, and sometimes they're not quite in accordance with reality, but they're adaptations that we have to survive. That's the reason why we have them. Yeah. And when you recognize that, then it takes the hate out of it. I understand that a woman is going to pick the best that she can because she wants the best for her children. Mm-hmm. When I'm married and I have kids, the fact that my wife wanted the best for her children, it seemed like it was selfish when I was picking her, but now it seems fucking awesome that she's protecting my children. So it's a feature, not a bug. And we need to look at it from that standpoint.
The misconceptions of the red pill is that people think that the red pill, if they think that the red pill exists so men will hate women. It's completely opposite. It exists so men will not hate women for what they can never be to them.
Yeah, I mean, when you understand girls, you'll just understand, they might say some dumb shit, but their actions tell the truth. That's just reality. They say one thing, but they'll do another. Women vote with their feet. So when you understand women, you understand that.
I think women vote with their but yes, I agree with you.
Men vote with their penises!
Women vote with their a woman will be like, I can't believe how fucking toxic you are. You talked to that other girl, and I saw that girl that you followed, and then they have sex with you. Women vote with their